All right, let's check out Nick's story here. Another unbelievable story song on Mix 1041, the Cares for Kids Radiothon.
My name is Ashley Hasiotis. Our son Nicholas, he came down with what we thought was a virus. We ultimately ended up at Children's Hospital ER, where we got the official diagnosis. And Nicholas was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia called AML. You know it's bad when 5 or 6 doctors come into your ER room all at the same time. I remember thinking to myself, this can't be good. So I was holding Nicholas in my arms, and I remember turning to my parents and saying, well, this is a place you never want to go. The kind of leukemia that Nicholas had meant that I should kind of get my bearings ready for a rocky and rough road. So this new nurse walks in, and she said, hey, my name is Lisa. I'm going to be your nurse from now on. And she said, so Nicholas isn't doing so well. I think we need to come up with a plan. And as soon as she said that, something in me, I couldn't hold in my cry. I started sobbing. Never met this woman before. She puts all of her material down on the table and just hugged me. So we sat in a hug with a stranger for like 20 minutes. And she started crying, and I started crying. She said, I'm sorry that this is happening to you guys. And she said, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that he gets better. And I said, thanks, I'm really glad that I met you. There's only 500 children in the world that get diagnosed with AML. I was very, very, very scared. I felt very, very sad for Nicholas because he was this tiny little infant. And he was so sick, and all these people kept poking him and prodding him, trying to get tests taken. And I couldn't protect him. It would be so much easier if I could say the words, I have leukemia. I've met a lot of adults who have cancer, and that they say that the first thing that they think of is, thank God this wasn't my child. You feel utterly helpless that you can't take this from them. And then once you get into treatment, and you realize that every day is painful. Every day is countless needles and endless nausea, and they look to you, your children look to you with these big eyes like, why are you letting this happen to me? And can't you make it stop? And it's hard. Life as you know it literally changes. Your life is one way, you get the diagnosis, and that life is never again. Never again. It does not exist ever again. Everything becomes some sort of reality check for you. Nicholas's statistics were really bad. He had a 50-50 shot of making it. 50-50? I kept asking ourselves, like, why us? Why Nicholas? So it happened to be shift change, and we were getting a new attending doctor. So he walks in, and he introduces himself, and he says, I'm Dr. Scott Armstrong. And I said, hi, Dr. Armstrong, it's nice to meet you. And he said, I have to tell you that Nicholas isn't a very healthy boy right now. And I really feel strongly that he needs to go to the ICU because he needs one-on-one care. Because the hour could make the difference between his life and his death. And I started crying. They asked me if I was okay, and I said, no, I'm not okay. And they said, so, do you have any other questions? And I said, yeah, I do have a question. Why can't the researchers come up with a chemotherapy that doesn't make the kids so sick? I mean, Nicholas is on his deathbed, and look at all these other kids. I mean, they're just so sick. I mean, I was literally choking on my tears, and Dr. Armstrong put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, I'm working on it. I mean, I literally sat up with hope. I was like, what do you mean you're working on it? And he said, well, that's what I'm doing in my lab right this very second, is I'm trying to find a chemotherapy that's targeted only to cancer cells, and so we'll keep the healthy cells alive so that the children won't get so sick. And I hugged him, and I said, can I have your business card? Because when I get out of here, I'm going to start a foundation, and I want to give you money. And we gave him $50,000 last year towards his lab. What do you do now? And he's the most amazing guy, and he's close. I mean, he's not far from finding a cure. And it's such a great feeling to feel like I'm being part of it, too. So for people who have ever been touched by pediatric cancer, today they have the opportunity to be part of that too, because they can call the hospital and they can give a donation straight to Children's. Nicholas is doing great. He just turned 4, and we have his cure party already planned for 2011. Nicholas is a very sweet boy. I swear somewhere deep down he knows that he had gone through something really important. But when your child gets diagnosed with cancer and you realize they could be taken from you, that you could lose your child any day, something within you just changes.
Yeah, hard rains are gonna fall.
Hi, this is Ashley Hasiotis. You can help save the life of a child, just like my son Nicholas.